Guys, welcome to a new VN. Well, not really new. This game has been coming out since 2018. I remember when its first update dropped in Decker. Well, Vivian played it, and yeah, I've been following it ever since. I just didn't put it on my channel because the the prospect of having to narrate this VN has kept me away for so long because of how long it is. I don't say that lightly. This is one of the longest VNs I think is out there, barring extracurricular activities, which that one is insane. Like, it's ridiculous. Ugh. Some of Vivian's videos before they started doing all this, like, oh, let's clip down the videos, were like over 2 hours, I think. But anyway, yeah, this game has fucking quick time events that you have to get in time, or else And I don't know anything about tennis, so boy. Oh, okay. What's your first name? Default Yuichi. Right, of course. Let's just do what I do all the time. Michimiya, Alex Michimiya. That's totally a normal name in Japan. But sure. Whoa, what the fuck? April 3rd, Monday. Well, barring that aside, those weird ass effects aside. Oh boy. Cool breeze passes by, softly ruffling my fur, basking in the mild weather of April, enjoying the feel of the sun against my skin. I can faintly hear the sound of the wind against the trees below and the chirping of birds above. I tend to just laze around and watch the clouds in the sky. Always been a good way to kill time when I had nothing better to do. Okay, so for those of you who haven't seen this VM before, try and guess where he is right now and see if your answer lines up with the truth. Lately, though, it has developed into a habit. As I lay on the ground counting clouds, I feel myself drifting away into sleep. Just keep my eyelids open seems like an impossible fight at this point. I'm tempted to just reach into my bag and grab my gaming console, but the thought of playing while fighting my urge to sleep is too troublesome. I am snapped out of my sleep-induced daze by the sound of the school bell. Okay, I'm sorry, but that fucking bell, why is that everywhere? It's literally everywhere, that same tone, just the dun 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 or whatever. Like fucking hell. At my grandparents' house in Michigan, they have a fucking clock that makes that sound all like every once in a while, and it's like what? Okay, it's everywhere. And like I've visited their house like all my entire childhood, so basically it's just ingrained in me that that noise is from their house, and like it's weird. Anyway, whatever. Weird tangent aside. Is it already this late? Slowly I hear voices. At first there are only a few, but they keep increasing little by little. Students are probably leaving the auditorium now and are heading towards their classrooms. Others are likely carrying around pamphlets and trying to recruit new students for their clubs. I don't even have to look to know what's happening. It's the same scene every year, after all. Just the thought of being pushed around by all those people who keep trying to go to a million different places gives me a headache. I feel you there, buddy. Good grief. I hate people. Well, I don't, but like, you know what I mean. I suppose I should head into class myself. Then remember that that teacher is going to be in charge of her homeroom this year. I think I'll just stay here and catch some sleep. Seems like the more comfortable approach. As I begin to feel the sweet calling of dreamland, a sudden noise snaps my mind back to reality. Up there goes gravity. Did some student decide to wander under the roof? Students aren't allowed up on the roof, so no one is supposed to come up here. As for me, I just come here for the peace and quiet. It's a great napping spot after all. The sound of approaching steps echoes. I move my ears a bit to be able to hear it better. Is it coming towards me? Crap, I've been caught. I had a feeling you would be here. My ears twitch at the sound of a familiar voice. My body relaxes almost instantly. Thank God it's not trouble. Oh, Suichi, of course. I slowly open my eyes, holding a hand up to block the sunlight from assaulting my vision. Standing atop me is a tall guy my own age with a kind, wry smile across his face. His bright green gaze looks directly at my eyes, nearly as bright as the morning sky above it. Oh my god. He looked like he didn't know whether he wanted to command or chastise me. So in the end, he merely stood at that same spot, looking down at me with indecision. Finally, he sighed, scratching his chin to continue to watch me with that smile. You do know a morning assembly's over, right? He sits down next to me with a huff, turning around to look at my face with a smile. I don't know how you managed to give any of the teachers every single year, but they were royally pissed this time. I think your luck just might have run out. Somewhat taken aback by this nonchalant attitude. Shouldn't you be a little more pissed? I really thought he'd come over to drive me to the faculty office. Puts both his arms behind my head and lies down on the ground next to me. I can feel the heat radiating from his body. Our arms slightly graze one another. Oh no, the homoerotic tension. I'm still feeling a little drowsy. Guess I might sleep for a few more minutes. By the way, my sister was looking for you this morning. Did she talk to you? His voice breaks the pleasant silence from before. I don't really feel like speaking, so I just nod along. His tail shifts around next to me, whipping me in the legs. I turn my head slightly so that he sees my sight. He looks somewhat annoyed about my lack of words. Ugh, what a pain. Oh yeah, I forgot the main character in this is their own sprite. That's actually amazing. I love that. She asked me to show her around school. I said that she should probably ask you instead. She wasn't amused. Sweet shields back a laugh. She also asked me if she looked cute in her uniform. I told her it was so-so, and she was not happy about that. This time I was unable to hold back and laughed softly, his shoulders moving up and down in a pleasant rhythm. She tried to hit me with her bag, lucky for me I'm a fast runner. Suichi doubles over, clutching his stomach as he continues on his fit of laughter. It's not funny. Your sister is the devil. Sorry, I know I shouldn't laugh. Takes a few deep breaths, trying to stabilize himself. Little by little, his shoulders stop quivering. Okay, I think I'm okay now. Really? Because you still act like you're about to burst into fits of laughter any minute now. God. Sorry she was such a pain. She actually spent most of the summer sending me photos of her in different clothes, asking what would look good for her first day of class. At first I thought she was joking, but when the semester was close to starting and she hadn't stopped, I sent her a message to remind her of the uniform. And she got mad at me because I didn't tell her sooner. Really? A high school student has to be running the existence of the school uniform? Talk about a blunder. Oh, and it looks like she still has a major crush on you. She's not the only one, Suichi. I'm sorry, that's spoilers. Ugh, don't remind me. When we were kids, Toka had a serious older brother comment. What? Always following us around and saying that she wanted to... Okay. In fact, I remember teasing Suichi about her all the time. Why did she have to fall for me? Let her know how much it annoys me, he'll tease me mercilessly for the rest of the day. Time for a tactical retreat, change of subject. Is your dad still out of town? That was the first thing that came to mind. Oh god, I suck at this. Isaiah say, really? That's the best you can do? But he still lets it slide. Yeah, business trip in Taiwan. He'll stay there for most of the semester. Why don't you stay with your mom in the meantime? I'm sure she'd be thrilled about it. Toka too. At that moment, the look in his face is enough to tell me that I should have said something. That I said something I shouldn't have. That's an idea, but I don't really feel comfortable there. I feel like an outsider. Their house has stopped being my home for a long time ago. Oh, buddy. I'm not gonna say anything, but I think you'd be better. Your mental health would be better. I'm sorry, but nah. Your dad sucks. From what I've experienced of this game. Plus, someone has to watch over our house, so it's better if I stay there. It's not all bad, though. At least I can join having someone breathing down my neck about the chores that need to be done. And yet I'm sure you will do them all regardless. Come to think of it, I don't really remember much of his current house. I didn't really visit much since his parents got divorced. Stop, game! Maybe I should go there sometime to keep him company. I know he still has a hard time dealing with the divorce, even if he likes to pretend everything is fine. Not me, I'm done with that shit. I'm fucking done with that shit. My parents needed that divorce, and I'm fucking fine with it at this point. Like, it took a while, but I'm fine. Maybe. That's not his voice. Maybe I could come over, I'll bring my game consoles. Oh, that actually sounds like a great idea. Bring the Mega Neptune, then. Those are the best fighting games. Fighting games? Again? Are those the only ones you can play? No, but they're the only ones I can actually beat you in. How can he say something so slouched with such a smile on his face? Fair enough, I'll see if I can get some free time this week. I can go over and spend the night. We could pull a gaming all-nighter. Deal, well, except the part about the all-nighter. I don't think it'd be a good idea to lose sleep. Boo, such a goody two-shoes. Feels so unnatural to see him smiling all the time. It's weird to think that he wasn't always like this. Isn't always like this. Whenever he's dealing with the few people that aren't part of his group of friends, he always has such a serious look in his face. Honestly, it feels like two completely different people. He starts leaning back to lie on the floor as well, but just as his back is about to touch the floor, he shoots up. Shoot, I almost forgot. Saya asked me to bring you over after she's done starting the new club members. I was hoping she wouldn't have gone that far. Nah, she's mistaken. I've taken a day off since there isn't anything important to do today. Is that so? Shouldn't the vice captain be there to be introduced to the new members? Sorry, burped. Burping is coffee. Suichi shoots me suspicious look. I'm afraid he won't buy it. Yeah, I guess I'll just give you the benefit of the doubt on this one. Luckily, he merely shrugs it off. I just managed to make up a convincing lie in the spot. Good going, me. The tennis club is things so easy. We had to jump through all sorts of hoops to get permission to use the courts during the break. Meanwhile, you guys have free access to them every day. It's so unfair. If you want better treatment, maybe you guys should start winning more. I planned on getting up and bolting long before I finished my sentence, but I seem to have overlooked one fatal flaw in my plan. My body is still feeling sluggish from sleep, taking too long to move. In that time, Suichi... Oh my god, the murder eyes. The murder eyes. Unable to get up on time, I'm grabbed into chokehold by Suichi, who immediately starts running his fist at my head. Oh, was that my imagination? Could have swore I heard a little bit of trash. Little brat trash at my person's volleyball club. Couldn't have been you, right? Well, this might seem like a bad situation for the average person. I'm already so used to this kind of treatment that it doesn't even faze me. In fact, even if Suichi's a little by comment, there's nothing more than rough play for him. If he really wanted to hurt me, I have no chance. That guy is freakishly strong. Well, he definitely has his arm wrapped around my neck. The noose is loose enough that I can get out whenever I want. Still, I decided to humor and play the part. Yeah, Suichi-san, I'm sorry, please forgive me, let me go. Suichi's body rumbles as he makes a choking noise. I can't laugh realistically when I'm not feeling it. Suichi begins to laugh with me and still in his grip, feeling his body vibrating like that is a strange, albeit familiar sensation. But even though he can barely restrain his laughter, he continues to play his part. If you think forgiveness is going to come that easy, then you're sorely mistaken. It would take you at least 100 years to achieve penance. Is this fucking anime, really? Wait, Suichi, you're tickling me. Let's hit that number. Be more realistic. Playing around like this is so nostalgic. Makes me miss the days of our childhood together. Well, not that those days ever really left. After all, we are rolling around on the rooftop in plain daylight. Suichi gently pushes me away from him, giving me a tap on the shoulder. Away with you now, heathen. I'm done with your punishment. Heathen? When did this become an inquisition? I don't know. I just always wanted to say a line like that. He's acting so silly right now that I can't help but laugh. Whenever we get together, we end up fooling around like little kids. Why we stopped studying together. We could never get things done. This is our last year, you know. You should try enjoying high school life a little more. Whoa, that change of subject came so fast I could feel some whiplash. I am enjoying it. And also, what's with the sudden change of subject? No, I'm not. You barely speak to anyone in school other than Saya, Irishihara, and me, and that came from being worried about you. You should be happy. Alright, Mom, and for your information, I have plenty of friends. Casual acquaintances aren't the same as friends, and I know that all your classmates fall into that category. It's not true, just understanding the requirements to overstaying the requirements of friendship. Is that so? I shrug. Nothing I can say to change his mind, so I won't really bother to. By the way, what time is it now? I can't hear the students downstairs anymore. That's true. It's gotten pretty quiet. I can't either. Wait, why are you asking me that? Just check your phone. I left it in my bag. You're so underprepared. Pull my phone in my pocket and look at the time. Oh, it's already past 11 a.m. 11:35? Sweet almost shoots up. Shit, I'm late. I'm supposed to be home with the new team members. Sorry I held you up here for so long. Sweetie gets up quickly, dusting his clothes off. Is there any dirt on my back? No, it's fine. I clean the roof up every day, you know. Doesn't change the fact we're lying around the floor. If this was going to be such a problem, then why did you do it in the first place? It didn't feel like a problem at the time. Just chalk it up to lack of foresight. Now come on. I'm sure you better things than fall asleep on a school rooftop, even if you end up skipping practice. Oh my god, they changed it. Basket changed the art here. Oh my god, what? Holy dreamboat, what the fuck? Here, let me help you. Sweetie leans down towards me, offering me a hand. Seeing the blue sky shining brightly behind him and the gentle breeze ruffling his fur, for some reason I can feel myself blushing. Not really knowing why, I decided to look away and attempt to hide like a kid that got caught doing something bad. Oh boy. I don't need help, I'm not a baby. Jesus Christ, this dude's... Okay. Not saying you are, but what's wrong with me trying to do something nice for a friend? I just want to help you. Damn smooth talker. My road tester still grab hold of his hand with him, pulling me up to my feet with ease. He actually pulls me with too much force, and we end up bumping chests. My face lands square on his shoulder. It never ceases to amaze me how deceptively strong he is. I mean, he already looks strong, but he's still much stronger than he looks. If that makes any sense. Ouch, geez, you're way too strong. Try to rein it in a little, you're gonna end up throwing me off the building. Sorry. You just have so much fluff that you look stockier than you really are. What's that supposed to mean? It's a compliment. I'm saying you're lighter than you look. Just as I'm pulling away from him, a particularly strong gust of wind blows against us, rustling my fur violently. It's so windy up here. How do you manage to stay here for so long? It's not usually this windy up here, you know? Plus, you're making for a pretty good windshield right now with how big you are. Although I decide against mentioning that part. My pockets start vibrating with force. I already have an idea who might be calling, so I choose to ignore it. Sweetie, though, is completely stopped. His eyes are glued to my pants pocket. Aren't you gonna get that? Nope. It's in bad taste to ignore a call, you know. Spare me the lecture. I have a pretty good idea who it is, and this will be a conversation I'd rather avoid. Sweetie gives me a bemused and in one fast movement shoves the hand down my pocket, pickpocketing my phone. Hey, give that back! Hello, could this be Alex's secret girlfriend? Saya-san. Oh, here's the development I didn't want to see occurring. Oh my god, the murder eyes. To change it to expressions already tell me enough to know that I'm busted. And screwed. I attempt to stealthily walk away from the situation. You have a match? You told me you were taking the day off. Crap. I am. Without consent. She starts rubbing his forehead. Yeah, Sai-chan, sure, I'll bring him. No! Sweet hangs up the phone and looks at me with a grumpy expression. I don't appreciate being lied to. I don't have to tell you every detail of my every waking moment, do I? Well, no, but you do have to go to practice. Why? It's your responsibility. Again, why? Because you're the vice captain, for crying out loud, and this is not up for debate. Oh my. Jesus Christ, Luigi, okay. Suichi grabs me by my shirt collar and starts dragging me. Of course. Oh, go, you don't have to drag me. Suichi. I can't fucking, I'm not up for that. Sai-chan, we're here. Oh yeah, this person. Sai stomps her way over to us, nearly knocking down some students that were unlucky enough to be in her path. If this were some kind of manga, I'm 100% sure she'd have smoke coming out of her ears. You asshole! Ugh. Grab at the collar of my shirt and drag it to the courts. People grab my shirt. Have arms. Grab those. They don't cost money, there's no risk of ripping them off. There's no way you're running away again. Saya-chan, I promise I'm not gonna try to escape. Please stop pulling on my shirt. Saya meets Mizoguchi, one of my dear childhood friends, is the current captain of our school's tennis club. Fortunately for me, she's incredibly brash and hot-headed. Even though she looks so innocent and tries to act cute, she's a monster whenever she gets angry. Psst, I know people like that, that's for sure. And considering how easy she is to anger, one could say that she lives in a state of constant rage. Standing at 176 centimeters, I have no idea that. Okay. She's also one of the tallest girls in school, which I find slightly unsettling. Oh, it's you. Mizoguchi-senpai, I'd like to remind you that our new members are watching this little display here. Saya turns around to look at the source of that voice, her nostrils flared and her brows furrowed. Not to mention that huge vein that's pulsing on her forehead. The one addressing her is Keisuke Orishihara, one of our juniors. Despite his age, he's by far the most responsible member of the team and is constantly counseling Sai and I. Sometimes it feels like he is the one pulling the strings here instead of us seniors. 30 seconds after popping up to speak his mind, Kei-kun has already left to busy himself with something else. Somehow it seems his interference of a brief was enough to bring her back to her senses. Sai clears her throat and straightens her clothes, turning around to look at Suichi. I swear. Okay, so when is June gonna show up? Because I know he shows up. Whatever. She still maintains a death grip on my shirt collar, though. Right, anyway, thanks for the help, Sho-chan. Don't mention it. Tell me anytime this unruly child gives you any more problems. He seems to be enjoying himself far more than he should. Bastard, I'll get him back for this. Estado. I'm sorry, I watched the dub for Girl in the Wind recently. I mean, I rewatched it. I already watched it, like, all the way through once, but whatever. Gym 3, the one that houses the tennis courts, is actually separated in half by a giant locker room. Separated in half by a giant locker room. On one side we have the tennis courts, on the other we have the volleyball courts. Yes, two things I know absolutely zilch about. Congratulations, me. So in the end, it was incredibly convenient for him as he was already bound to come to this anyway. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have some captaincy duties to fulfill. He waves us goodbye, heading towards the locker room, supposedly for his own practice. Meanwhile, I can feel Saya leering at my back. A creeping sense of dread begins to settle. Uh-oh, is the hum gonna start up? Sorry, I know, this is an echo. Well, Saya-chan, I guess I'll just... freeze. The fucking murder eyes in this game are so good. Her voice is so full of authority that I'm cut down before I even have a chance to speak. For long, I completely tossed away the foolish notion that I ever had a chance to escape. Yeah, no shit. Why are you being so troublesome? You know about our club's tradition. We had to delay practice because of you. I look away from her, trying to ignore the slight pang of guilt I feel in my chest. She's, of course, talking about our club's special yearly match featuring a junior and a senior player elected by members of those years to represent them in a special one-set match. I have no idea what that means, but okay. I don't know fucking tennis or any sport. No one really knows why they initially made it, but nowadays it's accepted as a way to show off our best players to those that are just joining the club. This is why this match takes place at the first day of class. Do I really have to? I already took part of it in last year. Isn't there some kind of attendance limit to allow more people to participate? Even as I'm trying to find a way out of it, I already know the best I can do is buy some time. It's true, though, that I was chosen to represent the juniors last year, defeating the seniors representative by 6-3, the first time in over 10 years that the juniors had won. It's pretty apt about it last year, too. Look, normally I'd give you a pass, but all the seniors voted for you this year. It'd be unfair to them if I picked someone else. Usually we host one game per gender category, one match per gender category, so we'd have the girls and the boys playing in separate categories. But still, the guys are still allowed to vote on who they want to see rather than the girls and vice versa. It's a pretty neat system. Come on, it can't have been literally everyone. I know for a fact that I didn't vote for myself. Don't try to be cute. You didn't even vote at all. You were absent that day. Rats. And yes, you got every single one of the votes. 100%. Is that even a surprise? You're one of the most well-known players in Japan. Of course our guys want to watch you play. Doesn't help that you've been slacking off in practice for the past year. I attempt to act frustrated, but I sign as loudly as I can. The hope was that she'd see it and decide to take pity on me. It isn't very effective. Oh my god, really? A Pokemon reference? Oh my god. The fucking death glares. Should I take this as a sign? That size a sign that you've resigned yourself to your fate? Yes? Great, now then showtime. So I grab my wrist and start dragging me to one of the courts. Just about to truly surrender my inescapable fate. I feel a hand touching my shoulder. As I turn around, I'm greeted at the sight of Kei-kun's face. Hey, how about we take a little breather here, okay? Mizuguchi-senpai, Michimiya-senpai hasn't even changed out his uniform yet. How is he supposed to play like this? Can we at least give him some time to get changed? K-Skate, you're the best. Saya stares at him, the bulging vein on her forehead makes another appearance as her brows twitch with frustration. Just when it seemed that she might not budge. Fine, but be quick about it. I don't want to have to delay this any longer than I have to. Thank you, we'll be right back. I flashed Keiko a thumbs up as a thank you. Now I just have to plot my escape. And don't even think about trying to run away. Otherwise, I'll hunt you down and I'll make a fur coat out of your skin. Okay, Cruella DeVille. On second thought... Oh boy, is there gonna be some... I think there's gonna be a scene in here that, nothing actually really explicit, but you know, it's a locker room. I dash toward the middle locker room, trying to get this done as fast as I can. Every second I take makes Sai even more mad, and I can't risk that. Just then... Oh my god! Okay. Wow! This dude is a fucking hottie. Oh my god. I see Suichi standing right next to his locker, his eyes just as glued on me as mine are on him. For a second, what is happening doesn't really click for any of us. After all, it's not every day that someone runs into a locker room and nearly crashes into the lockers. Suichi's hands are still frozen in the waistband of his... underwear? Whatever it is that he's wearing. His hands are still clutching it as if he just pulled it up a mere fraction of a second before I walked in. It's called a jockstrap, dude. Fucking hell. And the entire backside of it is completely bare, especially with him... Uh-huh. Yeah, cool. Sorry. Yeah. Turn around as fast as possible, trying to erase the image of my half-naked childish friend from my mind. Being so conscious about half-naked people, I'm a failure as a Japanese person. Is this really necessary? I'm not packing anything I haven't seen tons of times before. Oh, what? Shut up! I'm not usually so much of a nervous wreck around naked people, but having no time to prepare myself mentally has made me completely shocked to the sudden exposure. It had to be Soichi of all people. I can hear him softly chuckling from behind me, probably having a lot of fun on my breakdown. I mean, seeing someone in their locker room, in their underwear inside of a locker room is no big deal. And it's true that I've seen him wearing less before. No comment on that one. I was a kid back then. I didn't really understand how embarrassing nudity is. In the end, I can't decide if I start making conversation, move to my locker, start undressing myself. I just stand frozen with my back turned away from him. Your eyes aren't going to fall off you look at me, you know. Have you gotten dressed yet? Nope, not going to until you turn around and look at me. Why would you do that? Because you're freaking out, it's hilarious. Kill him. There, I'm looking. I can see more of you than I'd like to. Oh god, did you have to wearing a jockstrap? I can see your ass. Oh, it looks pretty snazzy, doesn't it? It looks like something you'd buy at a sex shop. Since when have you worn this kind of skimpy underwear? Well, you know, I bought this at a athletic gear store, and it's actually pretty damn comfortable. It's great to practice, and one of my teammates recommended it to me a few weeks back, and I gave it a try. Don't it look great in it? Whatever you want to believe. You know, for someone that's complaining about so much about seeing me half naked, you sure see much of my crotch. Your eyes haven't left that area since you turned around. Shut up, I'm looking at the only part of your body still clothed. Mm-hmm, sure. Keep telling yourself that. She turns back to his locker, picking up a change of clothes. There, I'm dressed. You can stop freaking out now. Thank you. God, my cheeks are so hot right now. There's a scene in this game that legitimately made me blush so hard it's insane, but I'm not going to say any details. Good thing your house is a bath. I think it'd melt down if you had to shower at school. I don't doubt that. Place my tennis bags on a bench and pull out my practice clothes. For a second I move to undress myself. I see Suichi with the corner of my eye and freeze. He looks at me in confusion for a few seconds and realization dawns on him and he sighs. You want me to turn my back, don't you? I just nod. Suichi sighs and turns away from me again. How do you even deal with this when you're staying at a hotel for a tournament? I don't use the hotel's bath. I look for a bathhouse and private rooms. That's kind of sad. Actually, no, it's not. I would do the same. Fuck that shit. Absolutely fuck that shit, man. Beats getting naked in front of a bunch of strangers. Alright, you can turn around now. Suichi turns around again as I'm dressed in my shirt. Good thing K-kun swooped to help me out. If I'd left it to Seiya, he'd have forced me to play in plain school clothes. His expressions turn sour and I mention Keisuke. Hooray for that. Still mad over last time? That was my ball and he knew it. For some reason that completely eludes me. These two are always finding some reason to fight over, some stupid reason to fight over. I swear, it's like placing a burning candle next to gasoline. The slightest thing makes it catch fire. Coffee. And for the last time, let it go. It's been almost 2 weeks already. Suichi pouts. God, he's too childish when it comes to K-Code. I'll let it go when he apologizes. We both know that's never going to happen. Just drop it. Why do I have to be the one to accept fate? Because when neither one of you is winning, you're both just making me miserable. Fine, I'll talk to him. Don't be rude. Well, anyway, I have to get to practice. Talk to you later. Sure, see ya. I check my bag to make sure I have everything in order. Once I'm sure that nothing's missing, I grab my rack and I head outside. Oh boy, the first game in this entire game that you have to sit through, and I don't think there's any quick time events in this one though, thankfully. I know they exist though. And Basket, you can go fuck yourself for adding them. Obviously joking, but still. That's actually horrible. As I start looking for Saya, I catch K-kun stretching alone at a court. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Pain suddenly shoots from my shin, making me jump forward, yelping. Son of a... I reflexively reach on my foot, rubbing the spot that just got briefly assaulted by this monster woman. Saya merely leers down with an annoyed look on her face. What took you so long? Did you get lost inside the locker room? Sheesh. I only ran into Suichi while I was changing. Also, ow! She's not no longer breathing fire from her mouth. She seems to mostly calm down. She's only just annoyed. By the way, I'm sorry I didn't tell you this before, but Kay is the only one you'll be playing against. You were kind of a flight risk at the time. Just like you, he got all the votes in his year. This is the first time our club has gotten 2 players 100% of the votes. I'm really excited for this. She looks like he might start hopping in place from excess glee. I only played against him once, and that was a while ago, but I still can't see myself losing to him. Sorry if that sounds cocky. To be honest, I also think you'll win, but then again, this is tennis. Never put it past your opponent to win by an upset. You should be happy. This will be a great chance for you to practice. You'll probably play against him during the Perfectorals, after all. Yeah, Great. Practically didn't even want to get. Such an amazing opportunity indeed. I grumble unhappily in place, still thinking of the throbbing pain in my shin. God damn it, even if she was just playing around, she kicked way too hard. She shakes her head sideways, making an exaggerated shrug. I find your lack of enthusiasm disturbing. Really? Really a Star Wars reference? Oh my god, Basket. Really? You're quoting Galaxy Wars in regular conversation now? I know she's a film nerd. That's not a film nerd. That's just a nerd. A film nerd would be watching movies by, like, fucking Kubrick and Kurosawa and others. Not fucking George Lucas. Good grief. Like, seriously. Watching Star Wars does not make you a film nerd. Hey, if it fits the situation, then why shouldn't I? With a big smile on her face, Saya shrugs one last time before walking away towards the umpire chair, leaving me to watch in dismay as Keikun finishes his preparations. Wait, the umpire chair? She's the one that'll be overseeing the match today? Oh, this is great. Is her coach absent today again? I swear that man takes every opportunity he has to slack off. And on the first day of class. Really? Oh my god. Okay, get the fucking... Deciding to think nothing more of it, I proceeded to do the most basic warm-up, making sure I finish it in less than 5 minutes. It's not my usual routine, but then again, I don't even care about this match in the first place. I wish I was home. As I'm away to the court, I can hear some of my clubmates whispering here and there. Most of them sound really excited for some reason. I guess Saya wasn't kidding when she said that people have been looking forward to this match. Damn it, why do I have such a stupid grin on my face? Letting the excited mood permeate the gym affect me. I see that Keikun is waiting for me, having already finished his warm-up routine. Even though he was running around and doing stretches up until now, his clothes still look to be in pristine condition. As he sees me coming over, he flashes a smile. How are you feeling right now? You seemed a little out of it earlier. Did Michiguchi-senpai give you too much trouble? Even though he was referring to us by our last names, when our climbers were around, now that we're out of earshot of other people, he's back to calling us by our first names, what? Which is great because I hate the excessive deference people treat me with just because I'm to be older. Age is just a number after... No. No. That's... Ew. Sorry, I was still half asleep earlier today. Saya gave me one hell of a kick to the shin, though, so that jolted me awake. He seems almost amused by hearing that. He's been exposed to Saya for too long. He's not even a bat and eye to random acts of violence. This one has already been corrupted by us. As long as you're not limping, it should be fine. I'd be wary of angering her again, though. I'd say. Sounds like I've had a few years knocked on my life expectancy. Saya's one scary girl when she's angry. He laughs at my remark, his normally deep voice carrying softly through the air. Holy shit, I got it right. He's pretty subdued most of the time, but I guess there's a certain air of refinement to him. Like, almost as if he wasn't just an average high school student. Well, since we'll be playing in only one set, stamina won't be much of an problem. How do we go at each other guns blazing from the start? Sounds good to me. How do we decide who gets the first serve? Should we just flip a coin? If it's okay for you, if it's okay with you, I'd like for you to take the first serve. I know it's usually a preference, and I'd like to give it a try. Sure, I guess. I mean, if you're really okay with it. I am. I think it'll be a great opportunity for me to try a new strategy I've come up with. Now, if you don't mind, I'll stay with this side of the court. Shall we get started? I nod, wishing him good luck and heading over to my side of the court. What's up with him willingly giving me first serve? Well, it's obviously a strategy, dude. He's totally underestimating me, isn't he? No, he's not. He knows who you are, he knows what your stand in tennis is, obviously. He's just has a strategy. However, I'm in a starting position, one of the freshmen has me at two balls. Why was there a A there? I guess Saya's worked him into being our ball boy for this match, huh? Take a few deep breaths to say myself. Once I walk onto the court, I shouldn't focus on anything but my opponent. It doesn't matter if it's a tournament match or an exhibition match, it's all still tennis in the end. And I refuse to give anything less than my all when it comes to tennis. Oh, right. This is actually a really cool mechanic. They actually show you where the ball is heading. I throw the ball into the air, move my body as quickly as I can with a whip-like motion at the ball at the peak of the toss. It goes past the net and hits close to the line, a powerful flat serve that goes wide. The ball bounces quickly and swiftly, sliding past Keiko's reach. Or at least it should have. With a swift motion, he dashes the ball and returns it, though not perfectly. The ball doesn't go very deep and doesn't have much power behind it. If it's like this, I can handle it easily. I reach the ball and counter it, putting as much force as I possibly can without sending it flying out of the court. The ball goes to the opposite side of the court, as Keiko is standing in right now, hitting the ground and bouncing away before it even starts running again. 15 love. Keiko looks down at the skid mark left on the floor by the ball, whistling in admiration. Seeing the surprise definitely makes me smile a little. The freshmen all start talking loudly and excitedly after seeing the last rally. Shut up! Sai easily solves that problem by using his usual sunny disposition. Psst. Only problem is she almost gave me a heart attack. I fucking love the expressions in this game. They're so varied at times. Looking over at Keiko, I notice him standing completely frozen, eyes wide as he stares at Saya. She quickly notices his gaze and laughs nervously. Please continue. Well, at least she regains her composure quite fast. We both walk back to our positions, Keiko taking just a bit longer to compose himself again. After knowing us for a full year, I'm surprised he's not used to Sai's personality yet. I take a moment to bask in this atmosphere. Even if I hesitated to be here right now, I have to admit that being on the court is the best feeling ever. Once more, I shoot a flat shot aiming for the lines. Keiko dashes the ball, and although he reaches it, returns the ball into the net. 30 love. Keiko stares with a troubled look on his face. I guess he just isn't used to a truly fast serve. There are many players with a lot of raw power around for him to practice against, so it's no surprise he's still not used to playing against me. Guess that's one benefit to me not playing against him often. I repeat the same strategy once more. That's a bad idea. I don't even know tennis, but that's a bad idea. Get your opponent used to what you're doing so that they can properly think about it and counteract it in a way that actually is bad for you and good for them. Yeah, that's not exactly a good strategy, dude. A flat ball with lots of power is what I excel at. Although he gets the ball with relative ease, he misjudges the timing. His return ends up going too long and flies out of the court by quite a bit. Out! 40 love. I can't get myself grinning like an idiot. I just might be a bit of a sadist because crushing an opponent always feels so satisfying. I never get sick of it. Keiko probably thought he could come up with some strategy to break my serve and asked me to serve first so he could attack and mess with my head. He probably thought that by breaking my serve he'd also break my concentration. Instead, it seems the spell has been turned against its user. Game Michimiya, game count 3-0. Michimiya leads. Wow, okay. Fucking hell. Small crowd that's gathered around our court starts to cheer loudly once more. I just wish these guys would shut up. This is way too distracting. As for Keiko, he's seemed largely out of it since the end of the first game. I guess the shock of seeing his strategy failing so catastrophically has broken his concentration. He's completely abandoned his tactics and fine skills in favor of a brute force approach. Tennis is a sport where your mind is just as important as your body. That's all sports, I'm pretty sure. If you start thinking too much about losing, your fear will cause your body to panic. Your body won't move as it normally does, and without noticing, your play becomes affected. Because of that, I managed to easily break through his serve game. And that created a downward spiral. The more he's dominated, the more he fears an eventual defeat, causing him to play his play to worsen further and making him feel even more dominated. It's a feedback loop that you can't escape from unless you notice that you're in the first place, and even then it's no small feat. Professional players struggle with this type of thing. For a high school student, this is a monumental beast all its own. I'm usually all in favor of rest breaks, but right now I wish we could play the whole match without stopping. Not because I'd like to, but because I don't want Keisuke to have time to calm down. Might be a shitty thing to say, but I hope he stays in this slump all the way to the end of the match. Time! Well, no point dwelling in it. I'll just get back to the court and try to get this match done as fast as I can. This is exactly what I was hoping wouldn't happen. His eyes seem much more focused right now. I guess a small break gave him enough time to get himself back together. I really can't afford to let my guard down. Keisuke tosses the ball high into the air, making contact with it just as it begins to drop again. There's no doubt about it that his serve has gone back to normal. I guess there's no more weakness for me to exploit. The good things in life are always short-lived after all. The ball soars over the net, making contact with the ground deep into the court. I manage to reach the ball and send it back, but I lose my balance for a second and get a late start my subsequent dash. Just as I take a couple steps toward the center of the court, Keiken immediately sends a powerful shot to the side I had been on. Not having enough time to regain my balance. Attempting to change direction again, it makes me trip. The ball slides to the floor, bouncing again in a sideways arc. I somehow manage to reach his shot, but because it stays too close to the ground, I can't make a full swing on it, lacking power. This is likely what he's going for. It seems Keiken has decided to attack my counter, which is admittedly a rather annoying strategy. Right after I turn the ball to the other side of the court, he again shoots to the other side of the court to make me run. If this were a 3 full set match, I would be seriously worried about my stamina. In a flash, Keiken has identified the shots I most struggle with and the ones I want most to hit. By doing that, he's aggressively looking to keep his serve by chipping away at me until he can go for a winner. This is a style of tennis that emphasizes a wide variation of shots and a delicate touch is his specialty. It's thanks to that Keiken managed to overcome his average constitution, becoming a well-known player in our region. Still, he has yet to make a breakthrough when it comes to national competitions. Since I can't fall into a comfortable pace, I end up not being able to hit the ball as I want to and, as such, can't put away a winner. I continue to struggle with the rally until Keisuke eventually runs me out of the point. Keisuke continues to use the same strategy for the remainder of the game. I'm only able to score a single point before he wins. We promptly start the 5th game. This time I have to try and hit my best possible serve to keep myself in the lead during my service game. While I fully accept myself to have the advantage of my serve, I still don't want to be caught up on a long rally against him. I don't have that much stamina. Go for a strong, flat serve to the center of the court. Although it's high risk, the ball makes it right in the edge of the court, painting the line. Despite that, Keiken reaches that, returning a deep ball with lots of topspin. Using the advantage given up my serve game, I quickly return a strong, flat shot to the other side of the court. The speed of the shot doesn't give him time to ready his next swing. If he doesn't have much time to prepare, he can't send a very precise shot. He ends up lightly tapping to my side of the court. I rush over and strike with everything I have, putting away an easy winner. 15, love. Keiken looks somewhat angry. I see him muttering something to himself before he gets back into position. This is the main reason I avoided playing against him for so long. Keiken falls into the category of tactical players. He is constantly running strat simulations and thinking of different strategies to deal with any problems he might face. Ordinarily, when faced with a huge hurdle, a player like myself would attempt to find an answer through trial and error. A player like Keisuke, though, is constantly analyzing the shifts in pattern. Because of that, he can shift into an answer almost instantly, forced to keep changing up shots far too often to attempt to throw him off. In the end, I'm not truly forcing my way through. I'm just taking a detour that forces me to spend extra energy. I just hate having to deal with any wall that my power can't break through. I'm sorry, I haven't even commentated on anything in the past, this entire thing, because it's that fucking good. Okay? When writing is good for me, I get lost in it. I can't fucking stop. When I'm actually invested, I just can't break away. Because I'm forced to constantly think and look for alternatives, the strain of having to sustain such a degree of concentration while keeping up my usual high-paced game makes me get tired faster than usual. Still, I can't just shoot blindly, otherwise he will eventually find a way to shut me out. So I had to change up my serves a bit. By adding a few spin shots to my serves, which are usually all flat anyway, I can throw them off for a while. I try putting as much power as I can into this spin serve, but the ball is significantly slower than before. Crap, we're not too good at using the spin. Because of the way a player grips his racket and the hand he uses to hold it, the ball tends to naturally spin to one direction. That's one of the reasons left-handed players are favored in the game, since there aren't many of them, and players tend to have already ingrained their reactions to different shots. Any difference, no matter how small, can throw them off. Most players capitalize on this natural spin, hitting spin shots to make the ball slide in that direction. Since hitting a spin towards the opposite direction makes it so the ball doesn't slide so much to the side, it tends to not be as favored. But because it isn't as favored, it becomes unexpected, and I use this to catch Kaken by surprise. He raised my serve and rushes into position to return, but because the ball doesn't escape as far to the side as he expects it, he ends up hitting the ball too close to the grip of the racket. His return is shallow, leaving the opportunity to attack. 30 love. Kaken was just about ready to throw his racket on the floor. He's gripping so tight that his hands are shaking. I'm not exactly happy to see him like this, but I decided to bury those feelings for now. He's my friend, but we're on the court. I can't show sympathy. This time I go with a wide slice. Once again, since I'm throwing the ball to an opposite direction, opposite of its spin, instead of sliding away from the court, it angles itself back in. Jeez, that was fast. The awkward angle of that shot causes Kaken to hit a weak return, which I easily put away. 40 love. The freshmen all chat excitedly while they watch the match. Jesus Christ, these expressions, man. There are so many voices at the same time that I can barely even make out what they're saying. Well, not that I'm trying to anyway. Kaken seems like he can't notice them, not reacting at all to their voices. That guy's concentration is on a whole other level, and that's already scary enough by itself. I ready myself for another serve. I take advantage of the indecision my past two serves created, and hit a strong top spin shot wide. Kaken is caught by surprise, having tried to anticipate my serve. He ran towards the center, but had to double back immediately. Because he can't reach the ball, I score a service ace to take the game. My god, Jesus. The freshman erupted in cheat before being reprimanded by the other club members. Game Michimiya. Game count 4-1. Michimiya leads. I swear, he looks like he's high. He looks like he's fucking high. We take another break. I slide into my seat to rest for a bit. I cap my bottle of water, taking a quick sip. Okay. Hi there. Okay. Dreamboat number 2. When I glance over at Kaken on the side, he has a really intense look in his face. He might look like the meek, silent type, but he really gets fired up when it comes to tennis, huh? He mutters something to himself that I can't really make out. Sweat rolling down his face and dripping from his matted fur. He's wiping his face using the hem of his shirt. Why he isn't going for the towel inside his bag, I don't really understand. One thing I will say is that for someone who looks so lithe and somewhat fragile, Kaken is surprisingly well built underneath his clothes. Yeah, no shit. You can quickly tell just how much effort he put into nurturing and caring for his body. Even for someone who doesn't seem to be naturally very athletic, he managed to build himself to a point where he doesn't even have a little bit of excess muscle anywhere. Something to marvel at, really. Even I probably am a little bit thicker in the muscle mass than I should be. Time. Really, so that break was just for us to stare at Kaken's... Okay. Sure game. We both get up from our chairs at the same time. If I want to end this match as soon as possible, then my goal should be to break his serve. I've had enough time to get used to his tricky style. Not only that, if he feels like he's slipping, he's getting impatient and that shows. I should use it to my advantage and break his serve. We both go to our positions. Kaken sends the ball high before striking it, hitting a strong, flat serve to the center of the court. I was already expecting him to do something like that. People tend to put too much force on the spot when they're angry, whilst ignoring spin and placement. Having already got to the ball a lot earlier, I have ample time to repair, hitting my strongest shot back at him. The ball hits the ground and bounces away from his reach, scoring me a return ace. It seems with each passing moment, Kaken becomes more and more agitated. That is not good. I know enough about sports to know that getting fucking angry and emotional during a game is not a good idea. He should really try to calm down. Playing like this is only going to drag him down further. No shit. Love 15. Well, it can't be helped. If he's not trying to help himself, there isn't anything I can do to help him. And to be honest, I feel like he'd fly off the rails if I did try. Kaken takes a while to get into position. He starts tying his shoes repeatedly, probably trying to calm himself down. Yeah, seriously. Calm the hell down, dude. It's a game. It's only game. Why you have to be mad? Well, he definitely looks to have calmed down a bit. He serves the ball again, shooting a slice serve towards the center. If it were for the spin on the ball, it would practically be a body shot. As soon as the ball gets close, I sidestep it and hit it an angled shot to the side of the court. The ball practically paints the line, bouncing very high from all the top spin I put on it. Oh, paints the line, so it okay, that's what that means. Got it. I really have to be more careful with my spin shots. They're barely going in right now. I can't, why the fuck am I trying to figure this out? Like, I'm not gonna... Actually, know why, because later on, like, the end of this prologue, because this prologue's fucking long, but the end of the prologue is this huge, literally 3 hour match, like, not in the game time, but, like, for us, it's 3 hours, from what I remember, where there's so many quick time events, it's actually insane. So, they're barely going in right now. I might actually make a mistake if I keep going like this. Keikun reaches in and effortlessly hits it back with another slice, going right at the center of the court. I hit back with as much power as I can whilst aiming cross-court, but can't get good contact with the ball, and it ends up hitting the upper part of the net. We were both taken by surprise. The ball topples down to Keikun's side of the court. He dashes over the net in an attempt to reach it, but ends up being too late. Love 30. Sorry about that, I apologize, it's the proper thing to do. It's fine. He nearly spits those words out. That's how angry he is right now. I'm sure he doesn't blame me for it, but it's hard to keep your feelings in check when under pressure. Keikun serves a strong flat, this time I mean wide. I dash towards the ball and hit it back, but since I can't get to a good position, the ball ends up being too weak. Keikun reaches in and puts it away in an instant. 15-30. My return was pretty terrible, so there wasn't anything I could do. Keisuke might not look like it, but he's certainly a high-level player. If I give him any openings, he'll certainly go for them in an instant. Keikun serves once again, this time I have a much easier time reaching it. I return an angled shot that hits the ground before the service line and bounces away from the court. Keikun is caught by surprise and has to rush to the ball. Right after striking, he runs up to the net, probably to try and restrict the angle of my return, but I'm one step ahead of him. What the fuck? Right as he reaches the net, I lob the ball high over his head. He immediately starts running back, and I don't doubt for a second that he will reach. He manages to hit the ball at the last second, barely putting any power to it as the ball bounces a few centimeters away from the net. I reach it before its first bounce, and right after it goes high again, I hit with the drop shot. Since the drop the ball was being so close to the net, there's barely any power left in it. Keikun doesn't even make it to the service line before it bounces, double bounces. Jesus Christ, this is fucking actually intense. I'm getting really into this. The first years erupt in cheers, and I'm pretty sure some of the second and third years join them in it. I said, shut up! Well, she certainly has a way of handling the crowd. That way is fear. 15-40. It seems that the pressure is starting to get to him. His face is a completely open book. No matter how he looks at it, I've been dominating him on his service game and he can't do a thing about it. Right now, he has to score twice. He would have to score twice in a row just to get us to a deuce. That's a tie, if you don't know tennis terms. As if I do. I'm just guessing here. I definitely hold the advantage here. Don't get cocky, dude. That's a bad idea. He serves the ball again, but just like his first serve of this game, he was so anxious to finish things fast that he got predictable. Wow. I easily anticipated and put the ball away with a return ace. Game Michimiya. Game count 5-1. Michimiya leads. As if he had lost all the drive that fueled him so far, Keisuke's shoulders sag. I don't blame him for being discouraged, but right now it looks as if he's already been defeated. What happened to try your best until the end? What's the point of continuing to play when you've already given up? I'm starting to get angry because of his attitude. I'll just finish this soon so we can just stop this miserable match. Game, set, and match won by Michimiya. Game 6-1. Saya has barely finished announcing the score, and Keisuke has already walked out of the court, stuffing his racket back into his bag and slipping away with it. Saya doesn't miss a beat, getting down from her seat and walking after him in a rush. Tennis players really have glass hearts sometimes. A little crowd of freshmen gathers around me, shouting with praise and admiration, and using this as an opportunity to ask for tips. I make no effort to listen, walking towards the locker room. I just want to rest, I don't care. And right there, stand in front of the door, is Suichi. Man, you're heartless. Don't you know how to go easy on people? It's good to do it every now and then. Sure, then I have him getting mad my friend underestimated him. He shrugs. Sure, over here we're so loud that we could hear on our side of the building. Coach asked me to come over and see what the fuss was about. Although I'd been sticking around to watch you play. You sure are carefree with your duties, huh? I enjoy watching you play. Why are you so surprised? I have to ask though, why didn't you tell me you were playing against Arishihara? Saya didn't tell me. She decided to keep it a secret until the last minute because I was, as she says it, a flight risk. Sounds about right. Hey! Sorry, but I think she's right. I imagine you'd have gone home the first chance you got if you knew about this. After all, you've been talking about how annoying it is to play against Arishihara since you first watched him practice. That's only partly true. Oh, really? Well, part of what I said was wrong. Shut up! It's easy to rile up as usual. Oh, right, I nearly forgot. Here. Sweet hands me a can. I can see beads of condensation rolling down from it. It must be really cold. Picked up an energy drink for you. Figured to want after the match. I know orange is your favorite, so I picked that one. Oh, thanks, you're a real lifesaver. Really start drinking it down without a care in the world. In just a few seconds, the can has already been emptied. Wow, were you really that thirsty? You have no idea. Without warning, Suichi puts a hand on my head and begins to casually pet me. Cute. I don't even notice what he's doing until he's already started, at which point I'm so shocked by his complete lack of self-consciousness about the whole thing. There's one thing that needs to be said about him, it's that he's a very touchy-feely kind of guy. Myself, Sai, his sister, and even Keisuke on the rare occasion they're not going at each other's throats, have already been made victims to this. Wouldn't be half bad if he kept these things private places either, but somehow he always tries to pull them off in public. As soon as I snap back to reality, elliptic with gravity, I slap his hand away from my head just as he had begun tugging on my ears. Oh, no fun. Jeez, you figure I killed his pet from the way he just reacted. It's not even like I might in the first place. I just don't like when he pulls this sort of stuff in public. Well, what can you do? For some reason, I seems to find my rejection funny. I don't like being messed with in public. You know that. Sorry. I'll try to refrain doing it again. That's a lie. By the way, what do you think of Arishihara? This is the first time you played against him since the Prefectorals tournament last year, wasn't it? Sure, I look for Keikun, but can't seem to find him. I don't know. He's a good player, I'll give him that, but I don't think he's ready for a major competition just yet. He'd probably get destroyed by the higher-ranking players. Didn't he lose the first round of last year's national tournament? Yeah, that's exactly what I mean by it. I suppose you're right. Kind of feel bad about him, though. What Suichi is talking about is last year's All-Japan Junior Tournament, the most important tournament in Japan for tennis players under the age of 18. Keisuke managed to qualify for it last year. Unfortunately for him, though, he got matched up against the number 4 player in the first round, and lost without taking a single set. Competition for that event is brutal. I myself got all the way to the finals, but lost to Takagi Tanabe, the number 1 player in the national rank. Arishihara sure got unlucky, huh? I nod, pursing my lips. This sort of thing happens every now and then. If you want to be safe and have an easier time in the first round, you need to be a seeded player. Keikun is going to have to try and get a seed ranking this year. That's pretty much the only thing he can do. Well, what do you need to become seeded? Considering his current rank, he'd have to win at the Saitama Prefecture Tournament and then place in the top 4 for the Kanto Tournament. And since we know for a fact he's not going to win the Prefectoral, where should he finish in the regional to get a seed? Second place. Suichi whistles in admiration. Arishihara's pretty much screwed, huh? Just goes to show. Being number 2 in Saitama doesn't really mean much. The competition there is pretty light compared to other areas of the country. Yeah, that's true. Right now, Tokyo and Hokkaido have the highest concentration of high-ranked players. Saitama is somewhere in the lower end of the rankings. You're probably the only reason Saitama isn't dead last. I wouldn't go that far. Honestly, I don't think the level of the players in our area has fallen. I think the competition has improved a lot. What do you mean? I mean that the current generation is probably much stronger than the last ones. Back when I was still a freshman in high school, I routinely beat juniors and seniors. It was against the other freshmen that I struggled. Huh. Never really thought about it like that. Kinda sucks when you're trying to go pro and have a hard time standing out. Not that you're having a problem with that, of course. You already stand out plenty. Yes. Suichi's one of the few people I've told my desire to go pro. So far, I've only told my family, my coach, and a few close friends. Of course, most of the people involved in the tennis scene already expect me to go pro, so it's not like there's much of a difference. But even at the risk of sounding superstitious, I'm afraid that if I tell many people, I'll end up jinxing it. But what about you? Decide you're gonna go pro yet? I already told you I'm not. Have I ever mentioned that that's a stupid idea? Yes. Many times. Too many, in fact. He's too stubborn. Suichi is one of the best volleyball players in the country, and yet he refuses to even consider the possibility of becoming a professional player. It's just so much wasted potential. I can already tell what you're thinking, so I'll stop you right there. I'm not in the mood to have another discussion with me becoming a professional. Why not? Instead, I'd rather talk about something a little more important. Oh? Like what? He really knows how to rope me into changing the subject of conversation. Well, no shit. Use my curiosity against me. Your progress, or lack thereof. I honestly don't see much improvement at all from last year. What happened to you? I was thinking the same thing. I throw the now empty can of sports drink into my trash, where it falls inside with a satisfying clink. I know I asked this a lot, but are you okay? Are you sure you're not going through any trouble? Fine, big guy. I guess I'm just not putting enough work, that's all. I'm honestly not as convinced of the truth as my words might sound. Just thinking about some of the guys that I'll have to face again this year almost invokes a feeling of dread. Hopefully this year I'll be able to turn things around. Townaby is invincible. I'm sure it can be if you try hard enough. I'm not so sure of that either. Yeah, I suppose. How about we cut this conversation here, though? I'd rather not talk about this stuff right now. Sure thing. In that case, I'll be getting in the locker room and at least towel yourself off. No offense, but you're smelling kind of ripe. He says it with the most innocent smile in the world, even though he was definitely taking a jab at me to tease me. Wow, thanks for the delicacy on the matter. Alright, I'll rephrase that. Dude, you fucking stink. Don't you ever fucking shower? Never mind. Sweet just stands there, groaning like an idiot, his tail wagging left and right. I have to give him props for being able to be so cheer about everything. Heading to the locker room, I notice it's mostly empty, save for two members of the volleyball club. The only reason I can even tell who they are is because they have team shirts on. Tamita and Io, the locker room is in the break room. Stop slacking off and get back to practice. The two look at Suichi with a scared look before dashing away and back in the volleyball courts. Aren't you slacking off too? I don't need to know that. Demon. Suichi flicks me in the forehead before sending a small jolt down my entire body. What's that for? Think too loud. I can tell what you're thinking bad things of me just by the look on your face. Am I really that transparent? To me you are. I don't think this is something to be happy about. You don't have to wait around for me to leave. But it's more fun this way. As always, I can't understand what goes on in his head. You're just staying around because you want to get a private show, aren't you? Suichi chuckles, leaning in his back his nearby locker. I wish. But I know the mere thought of getting changed in a public locker already makes you squeamish. No, it doesn't. I do it all the time, you know. It does. It makes me so squeamish. But I died before admitting to that. Jeez, you're sighing and pouting so much. Shouldn't you be happy that you just got a victory? Making too much fuss out of something minor. Just a practice match, after all. Oh, please. Both are just as important to you. You always say that, remember? I guess. You're being too negative here. Look on the bright side. Now you know you can easily beat Rashar in an official match. Isn't it great? I wouldn't go that far. I was lucky I managed to do so well today. I wouldn't bet my chips on happening again. Keikun might not be his skill, but his tricky style and strategies can corner you if you're not careful. Suddenly, the metal banging on metal echoes through the locker room, catching us by surprise. We both turn around to see Keisuke staring at us with a face that spells out impending doom. I don't think I've ever seen him this mad before. Oh, Richard, it's just you. I was afraid someone fell into a locker or something. You can't do this, you know. You gotta respect still property. I'm asking myself the same questions. What the hell? When the hell did he get here? Did he pass by as we were talking and we didn't notice? I know for a fact that he wasn't here when we walked into the room. Although from the look in Suichi's eyes, I can already guess that he knew Keikun was here and said those things on purpose. In hindsight, I should have seen this one coming. Suichi isn't the type to make light of a person's skills, so I should imagine he was plotting something. I'm sorry I made such a poor opponent. I'll try to do better next time, Your Highness. Don't be silly. We don't know such a thing would be impossible. Oh boy, are these two going to go at it again? These two seem to look for every opportunity to take a jab at each other. I don't know how these two managed to be friends when they behave so poorly around each other. Oh, really? And what exactly do you mean by that? I feel like I shouldn't be so calm in a situation like this, but then again, I've already seen this happen so many times that I feel like I've become jaded. I want to go home and be done with this. I mean, come on, this is Alex we're talking about. You might be good, but you can't possibly think you can compare, right? No, that would just be crazy. Why do I get the feeling that I'm turned into babysitter over the past year? Fucking stop. Enough! My sudden shouting makes them both jump back in surprise, a look of complete shock on their faces. Wait, isn't this a little much? All I did was shout at them a little. What are you two looking so surprised for? No, don't let yourself calm down. Keep the strict persona. They need to be taught a lesson. That is it. I've had it with you two. You guys have any idea how much of a nightmare it was during this entire break? Sly and I kept having to run around and keep you two from killing each other. We didn't get relaxed whatsoever that whole time. That's it. I'm done. I'm not gonna deal with you two anymore. Either you two apologize to each other right now and stop behaving like little children, or I'm done dealing with either of you. I know I was just shouting, but someone please say something. Suichi's the first to recompose himself. He clears his throat, looking at me with an apologetic expression. Sorry, Alex, I guess we crossed the line. I'm sorry we troubled you so much. And, I'm sorry to you too, Orishihara. I shouldn't have provoked you like that. It was childish of me. Seemed that Suichi apologizing and somehow snapped Keisuke back to reality up to his gravity. But what's with the look on his face? Don't you use this another chance to pick a fight, or I swear I'm going to slap you. I'm sorry, Arata. I let my emotions get the better of me. Please forgive me, for all of spring break. You too, Alex-san. Whoa, this went beyond my wildest dreams. I never expected these two to sincerely apologize so sincerely to each other. I mean, forgetting the fact they're not even looking at each other in the eye, it's fine if you two avoid doing this kind of thing again. Honestly, what is it with you two anyway? Why do you keep pulling stuff like this? Well, teasing Urashihara is kind of fun. Well, I guess I've been going a little overboard. And I guess I have a fun time antagonizing Arata too. It's a bit refreshing when he acts that way. I can't tell if you two are supposed to be fighting or playing around anymore. What are you two, 9? Like I said, avoid pulling this kind of crap in the future, will be fine. You two are friends, for God's sake. Act like it. Will do. Yeah, I got the message loud and clear. Anyway, I have some things I need to do, and I should really get to them. I'll see you later. Keikun finishes his towel on top of his bag and runs back to the course in a hurry. Poor bastard. What? It's beyond me to be worrying about Rishihara, but this is the first time I've ever allowed him. You probably traumatized the poor guy. Now he's a poor guy. There's only you two. How come he's the only one getting traumatized? Oh please, how long do you think I've known you for? I'm used to getting yelled at. That's not a good thing to get used to. Well, I should probably get back to my own practice, I guess. Sorry again for today. I'll see you later. See ya. Jeez, this video is fucking long, and this is all one day too. Oh guys, you haven't seen nothing yet. Jesus Christ, just wait till the fucking tournament happens. I think I was a little too hard on them. Tried to do something I'm not used to doing and I messed up. No, you didn't. I guess at least now I can have peace. Not really in the mood to continue practice today. I think I'm just going to tell Simon leaving early for the day. Finish telling myself off and head back to the courts. Starting to think I should have done a better job of wiping myself off. Wet myself dry. Not that it matters since I'll be heading home soon. And I don't really smell bad. My deodorant was pretty strong, so I doubt anyone can smell anything over it. God, guys, I know it must seem easy to fucking voice this stuff, but trust me. You try and do this for an hour, and you'll see. Or, like, your voice, your throat starts clamping up, it gets dry. Ugh. I'll just grin and bear this damn feeling. Where's Saya, though? Oh, there she is. And Keikun's there, too. He seems a bit tense. What are they talking about? Keikun is the first to notice me approach, and his eyes widen when he sees me. What? He's totally avoiding looking at me. He bows aside as if he were apologizing for something, and then promptly leaves. Saya stares at his fleeing figure, completely slack-jawed. What was that about? Just then she seems to finally take notice of me and her eyes light up. Oh, Alex-kun, that was a great match you two had. It really had my heart racing. I wish I could see you play more often. Well, I need to start watching my tournament matches more often then. I'd like to, but we always end up scheduled for matches at the same time. And yours are always over before mine. Saya bites her lip, looking over at the door of the locker room again. Say, do you know if anything's happened to Keisuke? He's looking a bit uncomfortable. Doesn't he always? Nothing much, I just defused another Kei-Suichi situation. Another one? They're almost adults already. They really should behave more like it. Look who's talking. That's not what I came over to talk to you about, though. Oh, what's up then? I'm headed out for the day. Eh? Just then her smile freezes in place, almost as if she was spoken and added just kidding to the sentence. Yeah? Sorry. Could you please not react so dramatically to everyday news? You're kidding me, right? Can't you stick around for a bit longer? Your practice is only gonna run for 2 more hours. Hey, I did my part. I played in that stupid match even though I didn't want to. You can't possibly need me for anything else. Saya looks at me with pleading eyes. There is something else you want, isn't there? So transparent. I was hoping you could stick around to instruct the new players. Pretty please, I haven't managed to do my own practice because I keep having to help the others. I don't want to be a poor sport, but you knew this would happen to the position of captain. Come on, you know what our coach is like. Well, that's true, but I just thought since you're the vice captain and all. So she wants to force me to do the work she initially agreed to do under the excuse that I'm the vice captain, even though she's the one that forced me to take the position in the first place. What's the one thing I made you promise when I accepted this position? She continues to stare at me, but the smile on her face is disappearing ever so slowly. Wasn't it you who said all I had to do was make sure the other club members followed the rules and, other than that, I was free to do whatever I wanted? Yeah, but wasn't it also you who said that my own train would take precedence over whatever it was I had to do for the club? Sure, but Isn't resting after a particularly tough train session also a very important part of practice? She's biting her lip in frustration. Feel bad for not letting her speak, but knowing her, she just used this as a chance to guilt trip me into helping, and I'm not dealing with that right now. Saya-chan sighs in her whole body. Her body slumping forward as she pouts. Fine, I understand, you can go. And you're not going to use this against me in the future. She looks away, biting her lips. Aha, got you. No, I won't. I did promise to let you do as you please. Victory! I guess I better get back to it then. I already see someone beckoning me over. See you tomorrow. See ya. Knowing her, I better leave before she's a change of heart. Ah, yes. Fucking Japanese schools. Once I step out of the training building, the warm orange-colored sun rays touch upon my skin. Ah, feels really good. The orange-tinted sky feels so gentle and mild. Today really is a beautiful day. Shinichiro? Who the fuck? What is this? Oh. Okay. Great, Right, that's how you say it. Okay.
Ah, there you are.
Eh? I hear Nebula voice reflexively turn around. Standing before me are three of my classmates. Jin? Jin, Rep? Jin. Really? The fox smiles at me, her face is warm and kind, almost the same as this afternoon's sun. She makes me feel at ease.
Ah, what a coincidence, Alex Goon. I was just looking for you.
For me? What could you possibly need from me? Wait, it's not bad news, is it? She softly giggles, crossing her arms. That's right. Her name is Ayako Katsunigawa. Katsunigawa, really. She's our class president this year once again. She might seem like the calm and collected type, but she's very much a bona fide sadist. But those personality quirks aside, she's usually a very caring and responsible person. Most of us have been her care since our freshman year. To be honest, there are very few changes to our class since we joined this school. Other than Suichi being bumped up to the advanced class, that is.
I'm sure, but I just might be the bearer of bad news. I've been sent here on official business.
I should have guessed. You never tell anyone it's good news.
Well, now that's a bit unfair, isn't it?
Despite dreading whatever news she was about to give, her laugh certainly makes me feel less anxious. But not to be a negative Nancy, but if you're here on official business, then what are these two doing here?
What, these two? After we went through all this trouble to track you down, we had club work to attend to, you know.
Jin sure is loud even this late in the afternoon.
Don't mind him, Alex Goon. We were actually heading home early when we bumped into Aiko-chan. She asked us to keep watch the exit to the men's locker room while we went in through their side.
Nah, we Chan, don't blab on me to him. Also, since when did you call her Chan?
That makes sense, since this used to be an all-boys academy until a few years ago. Not all the buildings have been retrofitted to accommodate female locker rooms. Originally, the tennis volleyball courts actually had the two lockers, and separate ends of the building to separate the different clubs. But now, the guys and girls of both clubs share lockers instead, and doors were built into locker rooms so they could access both courts. I see, so you were going to work as a glorified doorman while the rep went in through the girls' locker room to look for me, huh?
No, it's not like that.
Well, doesn't he like to sound important? Class rep giggles again. She hasn't said anything and just settled into watching these two bicker. Did she bring them along in the hopes that she'd get to see this very same situation unfold? She really is a sadist. By the way, these two guys really may not look like it, but they're actually twin brothers. The larger one, Jinichiru Nezumiro is the eldest of the two. He's much more mellow and easy to deal with than his brother, but despite this all, he can be really intense when it comes to food. The other, Jinichiro, really? The same fucking name, just spelled different? Nezumiro is definitely one of the rowdiest people I've ever met. He's slow, dim, and has a short fuse. But despite these shortcomings, the two of them are generally nice people, and I definitely enjoy spending time with them every now and then. So, class rep, what exactly did you come here to tell me?
Oh, that's right, sorry. I was having so much fun with the atmosphere that I forgot.
I'm sure you were purposely staying out of it so you could watch them bicker for a while longer.
To be honest, Katsuguri Sensei asked me to come fetch you. She didn't tell me exactly what's going on, but it was something about today's morning assembly. Oh yeah, that's right, you skipped today again. I imagine she was probably pissed.
I don't think she would have minded it so much she actually bothered to show up any of the other means organizer with the school year.
Well, I can't help it. These are all so boring. That's definitely sounds like something you'd say. Well, he shouldn't worry so much. I've done this to smooth things over with her, so she's only a little annoyed now.
What, really? That's so nice of you, class rep.
Yeah, it really is. How can you never try to smooth things over for me when I'm the one getting in trouble? Once you become important asset to the school's reputation like Alex-kun, then I just might. Just don't say that, Ayako-chan! It's not Chan. Please refer to me as Katsunagawa-san or class rep. You're kidding, I don't even get to call by first name?
Even though her words might have sounded harsh, she's a wide grin on her face. No doubt about it, she's only doing it to tease Jin. And he's so dumb he's falling for it.
Jin, maybe we should head home already.
I guess so. I got a mountain of paper homework to do. Oh my, a mountain. I don't remember it being assigned homework today. Well, that's
That's because we slacked off last year and didn't actually finish all the credits needed to pass. We're having to deal with them now.
Oh my, I'm surprised you're even allowed to do that. Yeah, Nissan, you don't have to tell her that much. He's too full of energy every day. Didn't even realize how much I missed her attitude during spring break. How can I put it? Seeing them like this is kinda refreshing?
Not at all. Not surprised that he was given an extension, though. Our school is pretty lax when it comes to people in athlete programs. We got tons of exposure from them, after all. We have some of the best teams in the country in multiple sports. Well, this was a fun little chat, but I guess I really should get going to the faculty office. Sensei's mood is probably just gonna get worse if I make her wait.
That's probably a wise decision. Yeah, dude, it was an honor meeting you. Don't just run me off like that.
Hey Alex, how about we grab a bite to eat together again one of these days?
Sure, show me What the fuck? Are you bipolar, bitch? Sure, show me another nice restaurant. I'll take you up on that offer.
Oh, okay, it's a deal.
Son, how come you're so buddy with Alex-san? I'm kinda jealous.
I'd rather avoid this unpleasant encounter, but given the class rep was one tasked with giving me the message, I'm sure there's no way I could go home without her reporting the fact that she managed to pass it along. In other words, I'm dead anyway. Might as well go peacefully. I walk into the main building. By the way, other than the multiple minor buildings for the different athletic departments, our school is divided into 3 main buildings. There's the main building, which among others, houses the faculty office and the club rooms for the most high-profile clubs, are the ones with the most expensive equipment. Then there's the classroom building. It's a much smaller building with only 3 floors, one for each of the grades. Over here in our school, each grade is divided from A to E, so we have 15 classrooms in total, 5 for each floor. The senior year is a little different in that the A class is specifically for advanced studies. It's where they house the most promising students and pass them along classes designed to prepare them for college entrance exams and college life in general. Of course, joining 3A isn't mandatory, but there's always a few students that decline it. Class rep was also offered a spot with them, but she refused. Said something about wanting to see her deputies as a class representative to the end. Oh, and the third building is the club building. It's where most of the other club rooms are located. Our school is pretty well known in the country, and we have lots of people applying every year. Just getting in is quite difficult. Well, it goes without saying that I had no issues with our entrance exam. Some of the students in here might look like a bunch of good-for-nothing, but every needs to show some measure of intelligence to get in. Although I still have my doubts when it comes to Jin. Right ahead of me, walking over to the entrance, are 2 other classmates of mine. Ah, Kako-san, Ryoji, what are you 2 doing here? And wait, why are you 2 together? The girl, Kyoko Neko Nishi. Really? Neko Nishi. Fucking hell. Fires the threatening glare at me. Despite her look, she can be quite threatening when she wants to. But of course, I'm close friends with Asaya, so something at this level couldn't even faze me. Excuse me, could you please not assume something so ridiculous? We just happen to be leaving at the same time. The other guy, Ryuji Kumagawa, doesn't even look like he's acknowledged us at all, even though he did stop walking when I called out to them. Ryoji? Is he ignoring me? Ryoji furrows his brow, staring even more intently at the gaming console in his hands. Ah, that's true. Ryoji is a video game maniac, so he always seems to have a console in his hands. I swear, sometimes I can look his way during class and he'll have his console hidden behind his textbook as if he really thought such a thing could fool anyone. But despite that, he still gets consistently high grades, so the teachers never really complain about his attitude.
Heading home.
Ah, he spoke. He seems fun a bit shy. It's true that he doesn't tend to participate in conversation unless it's about video games. Were you 2 visiting your club rooms or something? Kyoko nods, a haughty smile on her face. She's always so prim and proper, but she tends to act all ladylike most of the time. Well, despite her distant attitude, she's not a bad person at heart. I've made responsible for the fashion club this year, so I was just turning in all the required paperwork at the faculty office. Ryoji nods along too.
Dealing with paperwork for the game dev club.
Wait, game dev club? We have one of those at the school? Just as those words leave my mouth, Ryoji glares at me. Unlike Kyoko, having a 7-foot-tall brown bear glaring at you is a really frightening thing, and I can't help but feel a chill right down my spine. Sorry, I swear I wasn't making fun of anything. Seems to appease him as his gaze softens up, looking back down at his game. She's It's really not safe to walk around staring at a piece of hardware all the time, you know?
What about you, Alexander? You also have paperwork to deal with? Oh wait, that wouldn't be right. I thought Sai-chan was the one in charge of the tennis club this year.
Yeah, Sai-chan's heading the tennis club. I've been made vice captain, but really I'm just along for the ride because she made me do it.
That does really sound like Saya-chan.
Despite their completely opposite personalities, I've heard that Saya and Kyoko have become good friends we met 3 years ago. Although Kyoko still spends most of her time around class rep. They've known each other since childhood, after all.
Well, if it's not paperwork, then what are you doing here?
There are no club meetings for us regular folk right on the first day of class, and your club doesn't even have a room here in the first place.
Oh, well, Katsuguri Sensei sort of asked me to go and meet her.
Kyoko's expression immediately goes dark.
Wow, what did you just piss her off this time? Why do you just assume I did something wrong? This is you we're talking about. You just have that quality that pisses off most teachers. Hey!
I think so too.
Ryoji nods, his eyes still on his game console.
Don't just casually agree with her on that.
Kyoko laughs, even when she's casually goofing off, her mannerisms are incredibly refined. Well, she is the daughter of a pretty wealthy family. In fact, they actually own this school.
Well, make sure to tell the story behind it later. I'd love to hear what kind of punishment the old hag has cooked up this time. See you tomorrow.
Don't say such cruel things so casual. Oh, she's gone. She really is good at slipping away unnoticed. Is it a cat thing? Ah, Ryoji is still here, though. Hey, Ryoji, what game are you playing right now?
Moonfighter Rangers.
Is that one game based on children anime? How many seasons does that thing have? I think I remember it airing when I was 8. Ryoji nods casually, not bearing to confirm or deny what I just said. As always, making conversation with him would be hard. Is the game fun? He looks at me with a conflicted expression.
Hey, what's with that look?
Shouldn't you be heading to see the teacher?
God, the fat was trying to stall. Yeah, you could be surprisingly perspective at times, Ryoji. Unnecessarily so. Ryoji nods, pulling a piece of toast from his bag and munching on it. Wait, a piece of toast from his bag? The hygiene implications of what I just witnessed scare me a bit.
See you tomorrow.
Yeah, see ya. Off he goes. I'm jealous. I wish I could walk away like that. I've walked all the way to the 3rd floor the faculty office is located. I don't want to go in, but I know that if I don't show up soon, she'll only get angrier. Better to get this over with, kind of like ripping a band-aid off. Even though ripping off band-aids is incredibly painful for me because they always end up ripping off a ton of fur, too. Alright, I won't get anything done if I just stand around. Take a deep breath and... The sound of my knock echoes through the empty hallway. My heart is beating really fast right now. Even though I've been skipping these things to my first day of class, it's the first time I've been called in because of it. Kind of just assumed I'd keep getting special treatment because of my stats as a tennis player.
Come in.
Fucking hell, what was that? Pardon the intrusion. Doesn't take much looking around to find Katsuguri Sensei. She is sitting on her chair, legs crossed and turned all the way around to look at the door. She's her hand leaning against her closed fist, and she looks incredibly intimidating for a regular old woman.
Mitsumiya, I was wondering how long it would take for you to show up.
Ouch. Fuck off. Just from her tone of voice, I can already tell the situation is mostly hopeless. Oh, I'll still try to act dumb. Maybe that'll save me. I wish.
Mitsumiya-kun, you must know why it is I've called you over here, right?
Well, to be perfectly honest, it's not as if I don't particularly know what kind of reason would lead her to decide against not calling me here.
You're talking in circles, trying to confuse me now? That's cute, but it certainly isn't going to work. Sit.
Yes, ma'am. Thoroughly defeated.
We certainly appreciate the amount of exposure your name gives this school, and it's not as if you're doing badly with your studies either, given that you are always placing quite high in the school ranks.
Yes, see, I'm doing pretty well, so...
Let me finish!
Yes, ma'am. Katsuguri Sensei sighs, picking up a folder that was on top of her desk and opening it up. Is that a file on me?
I can see here that your academic records continue to worsen with each passing year. All of your teachers keep mentioning a continuing lack of interest on your part. Not only that, if I pull up your records from grade school and middle school, the drop is almost immediately apparent.
Well, one can't live solely on past accomplishments, right?
If that was the only reason for this drop, then I'd certainly let you off the hook, but we both know that that's not the real reason, so maybe just cut to the chase.
Scary. She's really scary. Katsuguri Sensei used to be our homework teacher up until last year, but she recently got a promotion and became the head teacher and coordinator for the school. So she doesn't have any classes to deal with for this year, and instead oversees the progress for all the classes in school. It's an unenviable position. Just think about the amount of work she must have already gives me a headache.
If only you were trying hard, then I could forgive you for this. It's not as if a person can continue to excel for their entire life. Drops in productivity are expected. But you've completely stopped trying, haven't you? I've also spoken to your coach, and he's told me that you've completely stagnated when it comes to tennis as well. What did you know about it? It's not like he even bothers coming into practice. I wasn't done talking.
Yes, ma'am.
Coach Mikado theorized you've been going through a rough period caused by extreme stress due to all the expectations placed on you for the past 6 years. If that is the case, I'd very much like for you to see our school psychiatrist and...
With all due respect, but would that be obligatory?
Well, no, we cannot force to see a student.
We cannot force a student to see a psychiatrist unless he's deemed to be in direct need of psychological assistance. Then I'll pass. I'm fine on my own, thank you very much. I don't have any complicated problems like that. I'm just not interested in paying attention in class, that's all. She sighs again, rubbing the bridge of her nose with a furrowed brow.
So you'll prefer taking full responsibility for your failures over letting someone help you deal with your situation? Given your talents, I imagine you want to become professional. That's...
Can't bring yourself to come and say that that's the plan.
I'll let you off the hook this time.
Why? I did just say I've been doing this on purpose, haven't I?
Call it intuition, if you will, but I don't believe punishing you for your lack of motivation will somehow help you to become more motivated.
Stand from a chair with a half jumps, pressing the urge to grab her in a tight hug. Thank you, Katsuguri Sensei. You really are much nicer than I give you credit for.
Of course, we have yet to discuss your punishment for skipping this morning's assembly.
The old fox smiles, looking at me with a devious look. That's a fox? Excuse me?
What, you didn't really think that I'd also give you a pass for willingly and with full knowledge of your actions skipping the assembly to welcome our newest students for the 3rd time in a row, did you?
Of course not. The thought never crossed my mind. I'm doomed. I end up being forced to be on cleaning duty for the next week as punishment for my actions. Considering everything I've done, I suppose I had it coming, but I really wish I managed to get home free. Huh? What's this now? I can think about it, I can hear something? Sounds like music. Come to think of it, there's a music room nearby, isn't there? Oh, Moonlight Sonata. But I thought the only music club still operating in our school was a light music club. That sounds like classical piano. Not that I know anything about music in the first place. Just a feeling that I have. This is supposed to be June, and he's fucking amazing. If, like, I get it's not actually some, whatever. This one using this hour, it's almost 6 p.m. I guess I'm a little curious about it. Whoever it is, this person plays really well. Maybe it's a recording? Nope. But it's not coming from the school speakers. And the audio quality is too high. It sounds like the real deal. Maybe I could go take a look. It certainly wouldn't hurt to take a peek. Yeah, sure, go look. We can even consciously make that choice. I feel as though my legs are working on their own, dragging me towards the origin of this music. It's as if the piano was calling out to me. I want to listen from up close. No, I need to listen from up close. Who kept playing this? The classical music club had been disbanded a few years ago. All that's left is an old room with some dusty instruments. Maybe it's a teacher? Or a freshman? No way, club activities haven't started yet, so there's no way they'd allow a freshman to be using the club room already. For I notice I'm already at the door. That was really close. I nearly walked in without thinking. How would that person react to it? What would I even say? Sorry I barged into the room because you keep playing the piano for me? But then again, this does sound really good. Crap, I'm just gonna go in and circles with logic. Scroll, just sneak in. Piano is so loud they might have noticed in the first place. I fucking love this. God, this dude is talented. I slide the door open as gently as I can. curiously into the room looking up for the source of the music, and that's when I see him. I fucking just... Do you guys have any idea how fucking difficult it is to play this piano piece? Not that I've actually ever tried to, but my god, it's fucking difficult, from what I've seen. A boy is sitting in front of the piano, his figure bathed by the orange rays of the sun that are coming from the nearby window. He rocks back and forth to the rhythm of the music, his fingers dancing above the keys in a flurry of strokes that are too fast even for me to properly track. The entire time, this please smile is plastered across his face, never faltering for even a second. And speaking of which, his eyes are closed? How can someone play a piano without looking at it? How can that even be possible? Yeah, that's insane. That is insane fucking talent. Playing one of the hardest pieces to master, as well as you're fucking closing your eyes while doing it. That's just fucking insane talent. Droplets of sweat drip down his face, but his expression doesn't falter for even a second. Damn, this guy is intense. His fur, an intense fiery orange when tinted by the evening sun rays, sways gently from side to side with each and every movement of his body. I can feel the music slowly enveloping me, almost as if it really were calling me. It's telling me to come closer. I can't take my eyes off his performance. I can feel his music echoing deep inside of me. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I want to feel more of it. I feel a tightness in my chest, as I might suffocate, but it's not unpleasant at all. It's like countless waves are crashing against my body. Everything else is blurry and muddled. The boy in this piano is the only thing in focus, the only thing that feels real right now. The closer I get, the harder it is to keep my thoughts in order. I can't even notice whether my legs are moving or not, but it's still a fact that I'm approaching him. Nothing else feels important right now, so I ignore everything else and just focus on this piano. Piano. Then, as if the spell was broke, that's what music should do. When you're actually near it, that's what like classical music should do. Basically leave you spellbound. Then, as if the spell is broken, I'm jolted back to reality by the pain shooting up my leg. Seems that in my days, I knee one of the tables by accident. It freaking hurts. Son of a... Wait, the piano stopped? Look back at the piano and... June. The tiger is on the piano, trying to keep himself from falling from his chair. Wait, he fell backwards from his chair? Okay, that's just shameless. That's just shameless. Whoa! He gets back up on his knees, bringing a hand to his head and rubbing it painfully. Ow. Oh god, I really hope it didn't hit his head. Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine. Before I can run over to him, the boy managed to get himself back up on the chair, proceeding to get up and turn to me. The boy looks away from me, his whole face turning red. His tail lashes nervously behind him like a concerned, frightened cat. God, I really did a number on him, huh? Sorry about that, I didn't mean to scare you. I just, Boy relaxes only slightly, crosses his arms and sits upright in the chair. Sorry, I didn't know there were still other students around. Huh? Can I help you with something? Oh, no, sorry for staring. Don't think I've ever seen him before. I know for a fact that most freshmen wouldn't be in this building today unless they had some bitches in the faculty office. Did you just wander in here and got into this club room? No, but it would be kept locked in the first place. There's no way he'd have been able to get in. He also doesn't really strike me as a freshman. He doesn't have that innocent, hopeful spark that you see in the eyes of most freshmen. I'm sorry to ask so suddenly, but are you a freshman here? Because you certainly don't look like it. The boy blinks a few times, cocking his head to the side. Then as he looks down at his own uniform, he seems to understand my question. No, I mean, I'm new here, but I just transferred to this school today. I'm actually a senior. I had a few problems at home this morning. I've got... Class has already started. I had to stick around to the gate. Okay. But if you show me around school... Okay. I get it. Slow down. I'm sorry. Was I talking too fast again? Again? Is this a common occurrence for him? Still, he talks so fast that I can't even get what he's saying. Again. It's giving me a headache. He never looks like the high-energy type. No, that's not even the weirdest thing. How can you say so much about yourself to someone you've only just met? Is he still talking crap? I'm so caught up in my thoughts I wasn't paying attention.
Not really good crowds. I got into school. It was really out of tune now, so it took me quite some time to get up and running again. Boy strokes his keys to the piano, smiling gently at them. The piano seems to calm him down a bit, and I have to admit, he has a beautiful smile when he lets his guard down. Wait, isn't he relaxing a bit too much? He completely forgot that I'm here. He's just falling over the piano right now. Fucking hell. Okay, guys, I'm sorry. I can't continue. My computer is literally about to die. So, yeah, I'm not doing that. Yeah, alright. Okay, I'm gonna change this to... Yeah. Okay guys, well I hope you enjoyed the first video of this series. I'll come back whenever I feel like doing another video, I guess. See ya.